Hey guys, this is Chris, your fourth semester rep. I have a lot of stuff to share with you, so I decided to create a document on Google to kind of organize everything. So I'm going to go over that with you right now. Up here at the top, we'll start there. It's in pink. It says fourth semester instructions. Use this timeline to stay organized for fourth semester. If something is highlighted in green, it means everyone needs to do it. If it's highlighted in yellow, it is optional. If it is not highlighted, it means it's just a reminder for the student rep, which in this case is me. And if it's pink, I'm still figuring it out. For example, this is still in pink. So, all right, and this is pink. So let's go over the organization of the blue part now. So the blue we see over here is timeline. It says week of and week number. So just start here. Week number is referring to fourth semester. So these are the weeks before fourth semester. This is for week one of the fourth semester, week 2 all the way down to week 18, and we have our break here, week 12. Week of, I didn't want to put in a whole bunch of dates, so I just put in the Monday of that week. So for instance, if we go here, it says January 14th. That is the Monday of week 1. And so that's the weeks there. We go across the top in blue, we see that the first area is Yuba College. Everything pertaining to Yuba College. Notice the line here separating Yuba College from the BRN. And then if we go very far over here, we see Pearson is at the very end. So those are the three sort of chunks here: Yuba College, BRN, and Pearson. And now I want to focus really quick on some other little details that I don't want to leave off or forget to tell you about. Okay, so each one of these things, there's a heading here that has columns showing you what's going on for that particular issue. If it's blue, it's a hyperlink. You can click on it. Some of the stuff is stuff that I have saved on Google Docs. Some of it is a form. Some of it just links to some web page on the internet, whatever. And then if it has a little black triangle in the corner, it means that there's information that pops up when you hover over it. So you basically want to kind of explore this document and make sure that you've read up and you understand what's going on for each section and time throughout the semester. Okay, so that's that. I'll go through each one of these, but I just want to point to the very end of the document, which is kind of the point of all of this. We do our stuff with Yuba College to meet the requirements for BRN. BRN then wants to know that we've met all those requirements. So that's kind of what all this stuff is. They want to see that we've done our schooling and whatnot. Now, Pearson is the company that actually tests us. They're the ones that administer the NCLEX. So if we just focus on these two columns here at the very end, we see that this column, it says online application, and it is in green, so that means everybody has to do it. This column says NCLEX, it's also green, it means everybody has to do it. So if we go down here, this line indicates, we can see over here that this is the end of fourth semester, so this is basically graduation here. And we see that the column under online application, so our BRN application gets submitted towards the end of the semester. And then you see an arrow going down here where it says application approval. So basically once you submit your application, it takes a few weeks. Some could be 10 to 12. According to one resource, another resource said 4 to 6. Students that are currently in fourth semester said that it was closer to the 4 to 6, but I just gave the kind of longer time period here. So this shows, I think, 10 weeks for application approval. Okay, so your application gets approved. You don't know when this happens necessarily, just it happens. And then notice, follow the arrow here, application gets approved. Sorry, the things keep popping up here. Application gets approved, and then they notify Pearson. Pearson then sends you an email with an ATT, which stands for authorization to test. that is basically your green light to set up your test. So once you receive that email, you're able to schedule your test date. And for instance, if you clicked on that, it would take you to the website for scheduling your test. And you could then schedule your test for as early, I think, as 2 weeks after that. So this is kind of the process. You take your test, you get your test results are then sent back over here to the BRN. They issue your license if you pass, and then you can apply for a job. So this is kind of like the meat and potatoes of everything, and basically the whole purpose of everything that we're doing here. All right, let's go through this because this is pretty important. Notice that up here above this line, this is break before 4th, so this is right now. The weeks over here don't really matter. Like for instance, this says do this around 12/24, which would have been around Christmas. Don't worry about that. Just get this stuff done before school starts. So technically we have Yuba College stuff over here. I'm not going to start there though. I'm going to start over here under the BRN. Okay, so what do we need to do for BRN? We have to set up an account with the BRN. It's mandatory. It's for some reason called BREEZE. I don't know what BREEZE stands for, but assuming something to do with Board Registered Nursing. Anyway, go on to this website and set up an account. Notice here it says just create a BREEZE account. Click on the hyperlink to access. Don't register for licensure at this point. You're just creating an account. And what this is for is so that everything that we do throughout the semester, like all this stuff over here, when it gets completed, it gets sent to this BREEZE account. So if you don't have this account set up, this stuff gets sent over here and doesn't have anything to attach to. So you need to get this set up ASAP. Also, you need to get your Pearson account set up. Same thing, just set it up. You do not need to register and pay for anything right now. Okay, so those are 2 important things you need to take care of before school starts. Just check them off your list. It was advised by 4th semester rep from last semester to mention you should also start saving some money here, because when you go to actually submit your application down here, this right here is break. So this is about 2 to 3 weeks before graduation. When you go to submit your application, you're going to have to fork over $300 for the BRN application, and when you go to register and pay for NCLEX with Pearson, you're going to have to pay $200. So you're dropping about $500 right here towards the end of the semester. So just be aware of that. Start saving now. Okay, let's go over the BRN stuff here. Okay, starting here with fingerprints. Everybody's going to need to get their fingerprints done. It is recommended that Capital Live Scan just come to school and do it for us. They've had really good success and it's easy in previous semesters, so that will probably be happening somewhere mid-semester. It's green. Everybody needs their fingerprints done. The only thing that we need to do as a class kind of soon is vote on a date when that should happen. It's recommended that that happens somewhere in the middle of the semester, right about over here, right about when 4A is ending and 4B is beginning. Somewhere around here, we'll try to shoot for having Capital Live Scan come and do our fingerprints. It'll happen at the same time that all this other stuff is happening as well. Okay, so you would, for instance, let me just explain this. Print all 3 of these. So it shows, click on that. It has a form all filled out. There's 3 of them. You need to print all 3 of them. There's explanation on this. I'm not going to go over the details, but there's an example. So just follow the instructions. So like in week 9, print all 3 of those. Week 10, complete them at the meeting. Okay, and then there's like instructions. So just follow along there. Next, BRN will need a passport photo. Now this is yellow. You can either opt to do this or not. what I mean is you can get this done with Capital Live Scan. They'll come and do your fingerprints and do your passport photo at the same time. It's $10 if you have Capital Live Scan do it, or you can just do it yourself at like Walgreens. You just need a 2x2 passport photo. So both of these things are done by Capital Live Scan. Okay, next, go over here. Yuba transcripts. So this, notice we have complete and print. We need to fill out a request for transcripts and turn it into admissions. Actually, you guys will just turn it into the student rep, me, and I will turn it into the people who need to get it. But anyway, it says complete and print. So you click on this, open it up. Hold on a second, just wait for it. Okay, so we have an image that pops up. It shows you exactly how to fill it out. And then if you click on the hyperlink, fill out section A, request for transcripts form, so boom. Click on that, open it up, type everything in, print it, sign it, you're good to go. So complete that, print it, and then deliver to rep. So this is the first week of school, so please bring that to school with you. This vote on date thing over here, this is online, so you'll see right here that there's a vote on date. All of these are the same vote on date. We'll click on that and I'll show you that later on. But basically, this is all the stuff that we're doing first week of school. This is all before school. Vote on date. Delivered to rep. Okay, now notice here, non-Yuba transcripts. If you completed any prerequisites pertaining to the nursing program at somewhere else besides Yuba College, you need to order transcripts. So that's why it's yellow. That doesn't apply to everybody. This part is pink though because I've got conflicting sources saying do this, order them as soon as possible, and other sources say you have to wait until you actually submit your application. So I'm still working on that. But in any case, if you just see like the description over here, order transcripts immediately after submitting your application. So like I said, I got to update this information. But anyway, like for myself, if I wanted to order Chico State transcripts, I go to the website and then I would just have the official transcripts sent to this address. They can be electronically delivered if your school electronically delivers them. But in any case, you're just sending your official certified transcripts to the BRN. Okay. Notice you don't want to do any of this stuff. This stuff will get directly sent to the BRN. So once again, that's why you need to have your account set up. Because if you had your transcripts sent to the BRN and you didn't have an account with them, they would get lost. Okay, on to the next column, accommodations. If anyone is signed up for DSPS, you need to start collecting information for this. There's some more instructions. There's a couple pieces of paper that need to get filled out. It shouldn't take too long. Well, I don't know if it'll take long or not, but look at it. There's like a little bit of reading to do on page 10 of this document, and then you fill out pages 18 through 22. You need to like have some signatures from people, answer some questions. Not sure, but anyway, that's going to get attached to your application. This is all yellow because that only applies to some people. Prior convictions. So if you have any misdemeanors or felonies or anything like that, any sort of background convictions, you need to start collecting information for that. And there's a whole bunch of stuff I think you have to fill out for that as well. So look into that. That stuff's going to get attached to your application as well. The LVN license. If you are one of the 9 people I think that joined us last semester, you can attach your LVN license, or you need to attach your LVN license in the year that you received it to your application. There's really nothing to do. I don't think. You just need to attach it, so that's why it's kind of blank up until attached application. Honorably discharged. So there was a report of separation form. If you were in the military, you have the ability to possibly make this part go faster. if you fill out the information and attach that information to your application, when you go to submit your application, it goes to a separate body who just looks at your application and approves it faster, I guess. I'm not sure the details on that, but in any case, if that's something you're interested in, check out the information listed here. I think that pretty much summarizes the BRN and Pearson. Once again, just reiterating, please be familiar with everything. Anytime there's a black triangle, please read it. Be aware of all the information. This is still new stuff for me as well, so there might be things that I miss. I'm doing my best here, but you got to be just on top of it. So look into all this. All right, let's go over to Yuba College side now. All right, so starting way over here, this is green, Med Surg Leadership and Mental Health. These two classes, we see that we have 4A starting on week 1, and then we have 4B starting on week 10 in our preceptorship, beginning then with our break happening right about there. Mental health is happening here. Okay, so register for classes. I'm aware that there's a little bit of an issue with registration right now, trying to get that figured out for mental health and 4B. Okay, so mental health, there were some details that Dr. Snyder forwarded to me, so I figured that instead of trying to cram everything in here, click on mental health hyperlink to find more details. So if you open that up, she has a schedule here that talks about our clinicals. So Woodland Community College orientation, clinical conference. Then there's Sutter campus in Yuba City, orientation, clinical conference. So these are the dates for groups A, B, and C. These both say Tuesdays, whereas Group C is a Monday orientation, so that's why they're highlighted in pink. I'm still kind of looking into that, see if that's what she meant exactly. So just make sure that you're checking everything out here. This column is yellow. Everyone in groups A and B already understands MCE is a big pain in the butt, so I'm trying to organize a meeting with Clark or Snyder, Sohal. So just the meeting is to be determined, and we'll see about that. It's yellow because it's optional. Okay, NCLEX review. That's a class N18 that is online. It's not mandatory. I have it in pink here because one source said that you take it at the beginning of the semester, and then another source says that you can't take it until you've completed 4A. So I'm not quite sure when you're supposed to get everything done for N18. I'm looking into that as well. But if you're doing that NCLEX review, obviously you need to register for the class. We have our ATI review, which is happening at the end of the semester. This is a little tricky. There's like 3 consecutive days that we ideally want to have before our pinning ceremony, because if we do it after a pinning ceremony, I mean, people probably won't want to come back to school after the pinning ceremony. So just try to get 3 consecutive days before. So just waiting on the pinning ceremony date, then we have to schedule a room. Or notice this isn't highlighted, so this is just a note for the rep. So I need to schedule the room to figure out when this would be. Okay, study. Everyone's going to study differently. This is yellow. Obviously, it's optional. It's just a recommendation. But 4th semester students said start studying for NCLEX roughly about a month before graduation, because although this goes down to here, because if we go over to here, the NCLEX, we weren't taking the NCLEX till about August 5th. The 4th semester students were saying that they really were actually scheduling their NCLEX for like a month after graduation. So if you started studying here, you'd get about 2 months of studying in before you'd actually be sitting down for the test. So request for transcripts. I actually need to delete that column. There we go. Okay, better. Petition for graduation. Okay, this is really important. This is a form that everybody needs to complete. Notice that it is before the semester begins, and then it says delivered to admissions, and there's a huge box. Realistically, the due date is 4/15, but you don't want to wait that long. Just get it taken care of, print it out, complete it now, turn it in at the beginning of school or like the first month of school when you go to turn in your WIOA stuff. I've made it a little bit easier doing the same thing here. Petition for graduation, have the boxes filled out basically how you need to fill them out. So just follow that, click on the form here. It's really important that you fill it out correctly, so don't miss any of the information there. Okay, baby boards. Okay, this stuff is all goes together. So I already talked about fingerprints and passport photo, and that was going to be the Capital Live Scan coming to do that. Notice that all this stuff is kind of on the same day. I don't know when this day is. It's about somewhere around week 8, 9, 10, 11, somewhere around there. We need to vote on it. That's why we're putting vote up here at the beginning of the semester. But we need to do our baby boards, our critical thinking exam. That's just the follow-up to that first one that we did in first semester. And we have an optional Kaplan spiel, basically from a Kaplan representative coming and talking to us about using Kaplan as a review. So this, we need to vote on a date that we're available to do all of this stuff. Everyone's schedule is a little bit different, so I have created a form here. Basically, fill out your email, your name, and then click on the days that you are available, meaning you don't have clinical. I didn't put Wednesday because we have theory on Wednesday, but you don't have clinical or anything else going on. So once I've collected information there, then we can go ahead and schedule our room for all this stuff to happen. This vote on date is the same as this vote on date is the same as that one. So just fill it out once. The vote on spiel, we need to decide if we want to have a Kaplan representative come and talk to us. So once again, fill out your email, your name, and then just click yes or no if you want to listen to a presentation. Just that way I can start working on that because we need to book a room for them as well. Okay, I think that is everything about this form. Basically, I'm just going to summarize with be your own advocate and start looking into this stuff. There's a lot to kind of work out, and it can be tricky. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, let me know, and I can fix things on here, make them clear, and answer any questions. All right.